channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 9 is here, guys. Halfway through the regular season. Flying by, right? I would think so. Like always, guys, we'll look at some big games this week, break them down, provide free picks, leans, price talk, some fades, and more. Just a heads up, not feeling great. I show up every podcast, so never miss a podcast from week to week since I started this 5-6 years ago. So I got a tooth issue. I got to remove my wisdom tooth. And then because of that, I got sick as well. So I'm pushing through it, guys. I'll be here. The energy probably will be down a little bit this week. We're going to talk the big games like we always do, guys. Chiefs versus Bills. Big one. Huge one. Colts versus Steelers. The new number one power rank team, the Colts. A big road game to see if they can get the big win here, be one of their biggest wins of the season. And then the Monday nighter, like we always talk about, Dallas versus Arizona. And then favorite teaser and underdog option, systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping to support the system while profiting long term. We're currently handicapping the UFC, NFL, PGA, and an NHL at a low volume. Last week, we hit the teaser for clients and for podcast viewers. I think it was Ravens, Chiefs as well. I got them down to like 4 from a high spread. Ravens and then Bills. Bills was my favorite play just to win outright. They just blew the Panthers out in the return off a bye. They look good. We'll be talking about them shortly. Didn't like any underdogs last week. I told you to stay away, but like always, every week I give out my favorite one. Didn't hit with the Steelers, so hopefully you did stay away. I warned you guys. No Lamar, no problem, right? D showed up for the Ravens as expected. We broke down that game. I said, obviously, I thought Lamar was going to play, but it wasn't confirmed. And Huntley played well, guys. Very surprised. And I'll talk about a total here I got burnt on. The D, though, I expected to show up, and they did. The D is looking good again in Baltimore, back-to-back good games. Before the bye, remember they played the Rams, their D showed up, and then now after the bye, they showed up against a Chicago Bears offense that's playing good, guys. So that's a good performance from the Ravens. And then Huntley, I did not expect to put up 30-plus points. That's where I got screwed here. I expect the Ravens D to play good. It did. So I took the under 45 for a client play. And it got to what, 46-47? It's a tough loss there, and it was a late touchdown by the Ravens. I did not see them putting up 30-plus. I expect the Bears to be where it was. I expected the total to be in the low 40s, and it got there late. So just tough beat there. But hey, happy the Ravens are at least back on track. I still have them, to win the North at the beginning of the year. I think that's still live. All 3 North teams lost. Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. And Ravens' schedule looking ahead, guys, they could easily go on a 6-7 game winning streak. It's not the hardest schedule in the world. Go take a look at it. And it starts this week with the Dolphins. So I expect them to be, 500 in a few weeks. Let's do a Circa update. Damn, my throat's killing me. My tooth. Damn it. I'm hanging in there, guys. Circa update. 1 second. One entry has been eliminated, guys. I expected it. That's the plan, right? So how you do it with Circa and how I do it every year, I have one entry where I do like not the big teams. I try to save the big teams until the end. So I took Falcons this week. They lost. Miami showed up for once, right? The plan is to bet against the Titans, Miami, the Jets. So even if I didn't take Falcons, I probably would have took the Bengals. Both lost. So it's a good week to have both losing because there was over 2,000 entries out. I still have my other entry. We took the Colts that got by easy. So we still have the one entry, which was kind of the plan, right? Going all the way to week 9 with both entries is very good, in my opinion. So I think I'm still sitting in a good spot. Just around 2,000 left from 18,000 in the tournament. So I think I was sitting fairly well. We just got to get lucky throughout the way and try to avoid the upsets. Power rankings, guys. Power rankings update. We got a new team at the top. Colts, 7-1, guys. Best record in the NFL. I was hesitant to put them number one last week, but now I'm gonna put them there. Detroit didn't play. Colts got another blowout win, even though it was against the Titans. They technically do have a top 10 win. They did beat Denver, so I do got to throw that in there. Denver's a top 10 team now in my power rankings. They beat the Chargers. It's a good win. They were able to put up a ton of points against them. I know their strength of schedule is not the toughest, but hey, I got to have the Colts there at the top. They could easily be out of there in 1 or 2 games. So I got to have them at least at some point at the top. And I think due to their hot start, a lot of people not expecting them to be a top team right now. I had to get them up there. Hats off to Taylor, probably MVP right now, you can argue, right? With Mahomes, maybe Baker. Baker kind of fell off lately, but Taylor's right there. So, yeah, who had the Colts power rank number one or a top team in this? Nobody. Let's be honest, guys, right? We didn't think Daniel Jones would work out this well, right? That's why we love the NFL. That's why we love the NFL. The other teams, Lions, second. Rams, third. Packers, Chiefs. No really big surprises there. All right, Chiefs obviously playing a lot better as of late. Very impressive. Probably you can argue looking as great as anybody right now. You can maybe even move them up if you want. But they're at the top 5. They started really bad, right? So they've been climbing my rankings each week, and now they're in the top 5. I think that is correct. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Hanging in there. Chiefs to -1 at Buffalo. Total 52.5. Hard to get in front of the Chiefs right now, right? Playing one of the best football right now on both sides of the ball. And they're healthy, right? Bills after the bye look great, right? Look great last week blowing out the Panthers. They were playing Andy Dalton, and, they're obviously, they were playing a little better, though, coming into that game. Their defense was playing a little better. So, Bills brought them back down to earth. We always had Panthers as, a below average team, probably bottom 5, bottom 3. I do believe they finish in that range. You can never write off the Chiefs, right? I try to at times because I'm just not a fan of them. But when you come back to, the betting strategy, you always got to have them and be not biased against them. It's just, you have to, right? You can't continue. That's one of the number one rules in betting, right? You can't be biased. You can't like a team or whatnot and bet against them. It just can't happen. So Chiefs are always a team that I avoid betting against, but sometimes I won't bet with them. But time has changed. I had them last week. 3-game win streak for them, and it's been impressive, right? 27 points over the Commanders, 27-8, 31-0 over the Raiders, and they put up 30 against the Lions, winning 30-17. A couple good games in there, a couple good wins in there, and it's their offense, right? Rice back, looks great with Rice in there. A lot of short passes, a lot of mix-up with Rice. He's a big end zone target. Kelsey looked great last week, so it seems like the team is clicking after a slow start. They can win in Buffalo also, right? They have won twice in the last 3 meetings in Buffalo. So, yeah, sure, it's at home in Buffalo. I don't really like to bet against Buffalo at home, to be honest. But I believe this is a good time if you want to continue to ride the Chiefs here. The only thing, I do have to mention, they're 1-2 on the road, the Chiefs. They play obviously much better at home. That is worth mentioning here. But that was that was earlier in the season. Is when they were struggling and it was on the road. So you also got to factor that in as well. I'm not going to make this a client play. I'm not going to bet this personally, guys. But for podcast purposes, we're going to look at the Chiefs here on the road. I just can't get in front of them right now. They're just playing great ball. Now, you can say the Bills are playing great ball, but it was against the Panthers. I don't know how much I'm going to, factor that in here. I do think the Chiefs are the better team. And everything's just clicking for them right now. Right? Bills struggle on defense as well, especially against the run. 30th, guys. against a run on the year. Right? So the Chiefs maybe can get that run game going. I know the run game has been inconsistent in Kansas City, but I do believe they can get it going. And their D has been playing much better as of late as well. They know Allen. They should be able to have some sort of game plan to limit him at least. Not take him away or slow him down, but not just limit him. Not allow 40 points like the Panthers did last week. Got to try to slow down Cook too. Cook had a huge game last week, over 200 yards, very impressive. And that's how Bills, I think, do well when they can get Cook going, and then it opens up the pass game. And that's where Buffalo should try to focus on here. So we're gonna have the total. We're gonna have the fourth in total yards allowed. The Bills against the fourth best offense in yards. Should be fun. Should be fun. Lean the over. However, if you look at the last two games, guys, it landed on 51. Now, one of them was a huge win. It was in the playoffs. 32-29 went way over this total. But prior to that, two games landed at 51. So 52.5 is a tough total. Because you could easily see it land in that 50 range, high 40s, right? So even though I'm going to lean the over because I think both offenses are playing better than their defenses. So that's why I'll lean the over. Check the weather. Whether it's Buffalo in almost November. So check that as well. That could cause an effect. Always check weather, guys, in outdoor games, especially around this time of the year. In September, I'm not going to talk about it. October, not really. But now we're close to November and it's in Buffalo. You may want to take a look there. Check rain, how cold it's going to be, etc. Because it will be the first. If it is colder there in Buffalo, they'll be the first game they're playing in colder weather. And then also, obviously, rain and whatnot does affect it. Wind is more important, though. That factors in more than rain. Can't wait for this one, guys. I'll be staying away from the betting market. May have some player props on it. Look at the wide receivers, Rice, Worthy, maybe Cook over as well. Anytime touchdown, Cook's always a good look as well. So I'll have some fun with it. Some props I'm sure will make my client card. But I'll be staying away from his side in total here for clients. Colts -3 versus Steelers. Total 50. The Colts 7-1 easily could be 8-0, but we know the Mitchell drop against the Rams running into the end zone. I don't know if he's played. I haven't been watching them too closely. I don't know if Mitchell, I know he's got bench the next game. I'm sure he's back in there now, but yeah, just a tough tough way to lose a game, right? I mentioned the Colts don't have any huge wins, but wins over the Chargers and Broncos I think are good. They're good wins, right? They have a couple other wins over like the Titans. Cardinals not a bad win, even though Cardinals have been struggling. But I get it. They got a couple wins over the Titans, over the Raiders, right? So there are some easy ones, the Dolphins. But the Chargers, Broncos, legitimate wins. You only can beat who you're playing in front of, and they've been beating teams fairly easily. So I do got to mention that. And that Rams game was close that they lost. So that's why Colts right now, hard to get in front of them. Like I can't just say Steelers are going to win this game because they're at home and they're avoiding back-to-back. Now, it's a situational handicap. Sometimes I like to bet situational handicaps in the NFL, but mainly in the NHL. To be honest, I think it comes up more in the NHL. But here, if you are a situational handicap, you look at Tomlin's record off a loss at back-to-back home. It's good. Tomlin at home, they're in 18 years, they haven't had under 5 wins at home and never under a 500 record. That's something working. They're 2-2 on the year, guys. So that's something to look at it more of a situational handicap here. Back to back, you expect the best effort here. I know Tomlin called out his team. You expect a good effort here at home against the Colts, and it'll be a signature win for the Steelers on the year. So, the problem is they just have not looked good on the defensive side of the ball, and that's how they win games previous years, right? That's the only issue, right? And Colts been coming in super hot on the offensive side of the ball. So how could you back the Steelers here to win this game outright? It's just very difficult. Even if I look at the situational, right? Look at their defense, guys. Some of these stats: 30th in total yards allowed, 25th in yards per play. So they're allowing big plays up. So, Taylor, big run could be live, or, Warren, Pittman have some big plays in this field. Daniel Jones not afraid to throw down the ball. They're 18th against the rush. That's their best stat, and it's not great either, right? So you expect Taylor to have success. And then you look at yards per play, total yards, Colts number 1. So I just have a hard time seeing Steelers having success. And so their defense somewhat turns around and, Daniel Jones have an off day. Very possible. I get it. Back-to-back games in Pittsburgh coming off a loss. I like that. I like that situational play. Just looking at these defensive numbers, though, I can't get to it. I just can't get to the Steelers. Right? Colts are going to be the podcast play here. I just can't get in front of them right now. So, again, I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers won this game due to the situational play. Tom is going to have his team up for this game. Rodgers probably be an influence there in the locker room as well. And yeah, Pittsburgh could score on the Colts. That's why I think this total at 50 could get over. And I would actually lean the over 50 here. But look at some Colts props as well. I'm not too sure if I'll get to props. If I do, it's probably the Metcalf over. That's going to be my favorite play. I don't have the line out yet. Lines usually come out on Thursday, Friday, depending on your books. But the lines usually come out a little later. I usually do this podcast on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, so I like the Metcalf's over here. I think the Colts can be vulnerable to the big play. So I expect the Colts to either be ahead or this game to be close. So the passing game would never be eliminated in this. And Rodgers could be looking for his best weapon, and that is Metcalf. So look at the over there on Metcalf. Monday Nighter, Dallas -3 versus Arizona, total 54. Not one of the best games, but we always talk the Monday Nighter. Got to keep the tradition going. And guys, Kyler Murray should be back for this one. Is it a good thing, though? Is it a good thing that he's back? I don't think it upgrades the offense, guys. He struggled this year before the injury. Brissett actually came in and looked better at times. Now, I know they didn't get any wins, but they were playing the Colts and the Packers. And in both those games, they only lost by 4 points. They had chances to win that game. So Brissett was able to put up 27 and 23. I don't think their issue is on the offensive side of the ball with Brissett in there. It's their defense. The defense is poor, right? So you expect Dallas to put up a lot of points here, right? That's why my favorite play here would be the team total over on Dallas. If you bet the over 54, you got to hope Arizona and Kyler Murray comes out and plays well. I don't know. I don't know how Murray's going to look after the bye and his injury concerns, right? So it's tough to say. So yeah, I'm going to lean Dallas here to win the game, even though they're very inconsistent, guys. Very inconsistent. It's going to be a podcast play. Dallas over team total, probably my favorite. If you can get it around 24-ish. 27 would be kind of pushing it. I can see this landing around that line, around 27 minimum. Just because I haven't seen anything from this Cardinals defense, guys. It's hard to back the Cowboys. They're so inconsistent week to week, right? Good game, their offense at least, against Green Bay. They tied them. Then they lose to the Panthers. Then they beat the Commanders by 20. Then they lose to Denver by 20. But in those games, they're at least putting up high 20s, mid 20s, right? So that's why I love the team total over here on Dallas. Lamb's back, obviously. Pickens been, very good for them. This year is definitely a good signing. I do have to give Jerry Jones some credit there. Pickens has worked out well in this offense. The issue is just the D. It's so bad, guys. It's 32nd in all categories. You don't see that often. Sometimes you'll see the rush is a little better or against the pass is a little better. This is 32nd in all categories, guys. So if Kyler Murray can't put up minimum 20 points here, he's in trouble, right? I expect this to be high scoring. I like the Dallas team total over better than the full game total. I think Dallas finds a way to win this game just due to their offense. This should be a high scoring back and forth battle. Kind of excited to watch it, especially if you like offense. I'm getting through it, guys. Getting through it here. Teaser options. Who won one last week? Continue the roll here. Remember we went 4-0 to start the year. Lost a couple. Back on track this week. Rams -7. -6.5. Whatever you can get. Shop around for best number. And these are always 7-point teasers, remember. I give you my two favorite. Usually I have a 3 for clients at plus 120. Rams -7, -6.5 versus the Saints. Rookie QB for the Saints. Rams at home off the bye. All you got to really say there. And then Packers -6.5 over Panthers at home. I expect this to be Packers' big game where they blow the roof off the doors. They beat Steelers by 10 last week on the road. I think they beat the Panthers by at least a touchdown here. Underdogs. Not going to say I love anything again, guys, this week. I'm honest with you guys. When I love anything, I give you 2 or 3 sometimes. This week, don't love anything. We're going to go back to last week's not love anything. My favorite, Broncos, plus 105 at Houston. I think Broncos playing really good. Now, I know Houston's playing good ball as well, but I'm liking what I see for Broncos. I think the defense could slow down Houston. I think it's going to be a close game. So if I can get plus money with a team, it's only plus 105, right? I think there may be some 110s out there if you shop around. But that will be my favorite underdog of the week. Not going to bet it personally, but that will be the podcast underdog for you guys. And then, guys, situational handicappers, it's not going to be a part of it. But Steelers, I get it. If some of you guys want to take a shot there, especially for situational handicappers. That will do it, guys. That will do it. I got through it. Gonna rest. Got a dentist appointment next week. That was the quickest I could get. I got to remove the wisdom tooth. It's a lot of people get it removed a lot earlier. I never did. I had actually one removed. The other one I never did. I hate going to the dentist. So got to get it done. Got to get it done because it is bothering me a ton. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this week.